Hello, my name's Tim Hughes. I'm the Director of Communications for Spirit Invest. Today it's my pleasure to speak to Marc Wiese, who's the Managing Director of Warwick Wealth. Marc, hello. Today we're going to talk about the subject of hedge funds, and I don't think they're particularly well understood. So can you help us understand hedge funds, at least from the wealth management perspective? Tell us a little bit more about hedge funds.
Well, thanks, Tim. I think hedge funds certainly can add value to clients in certain instances, but we have to understand how a hedge fund can add value. Ultimately, a hedge fund operates differently to normal unit trusts. It uses alternative investment strategies, which would include short selling, derivatives. In certain cases, they would leverage. Certainly provides a different type of return profile to usual collective investment schemes. I think where the value add really comes from is the fact that it's not correlated generally to general market conditions or economic conditions out there. And in doing so, it provides some alpha, which is an excess return above the market and perform differently to a general market, providing a bit of a smoother ride for clients as part of a portfolio.
Excellent. That's nice and clear. Thanks very much indeed. Now, there are different types of hedge funds. Perhaps there are two main types of hedge funds. Just unpack that for us a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about the two main forms of hedge funds, please.
Thanks, Tim. So, more traditionally, I think a lot of people out there would know what a qualified investor fund, also known as a QIF, and it's been around for a long time. A lot of QIFs, unfortunately, are priced monthly, which means you don't get an ongoing value of your portfolio, and you can't cash out any of your investment during that month until it actually prices, which has been fairly restrictive. Also, the investment policies are less restrictive in a QIF, which could add value, but also retract value and add more volatility. Qualified investor funds also require a minimum investment of at least 1 million rand to enter the fund, which, if you're using it as part of a portfolio, is prohibitive. The second one, and probably more recent, is what we call a retail investor fund or a RIF. Generally, RIFs have more stringent guidelines and policies in terms of how the fund can be managed. And I think where a RIF really adds value is the fact that it is priced daily. You can enter it on most investment platforms, depending where the relevant fund is available. And it just makes it more accessible for general investors. There's also no minimum, which if you're using it as part of an overall portfolio, has become quite an important factor.
Excellent. Thanks very much indeed. Now, when does it make sense to include a hedge fund in your investments?
I think for large clients and high net worth individuals, I think there is sense investing into certain qualified investor funds on their own. But for most clients out there, to invest a portion, maybe 2.5% or 5% of your overall portfolio in a hedge fund or retail investment fund certainly can add some value. The fact that it's not correlated to the market, the fact that it provides additional diversification, and as mentioned, alpha, where it has the ability to outperform the general market, I believe can add value.
So then finally, Marc, is it the case that in any of the funds that you put Warwick clients into, are there hedge funds in any of those funds as well?
Yeah, so generally hedge funds would be used inside of what we call wrap funds or discretionary fund models. And we would currently investing up to about 2.5% in some of the models. We are looking to increase that to 5% in the near future, depending on certain market conditions and if we like where the positioning is at. But once again, for certain clients, I think it can add value, certainly not for all clients. But that's the importance of meeting with the financial advisor, looking at your own personalized financial plan.
So really the client looking to invest needs to speak to their wealth specialist, their personal financial advisor, their wealth planner. That's your advice about hedge funds? Exactly.
I mean, I think that hedge funds certainly has a place in the market. We know that there are some talks out there about changing the way hedge funds are regulated from a tax perspective, from a collective investment schemes perspective. We'll kind of see what happens from a regulator perspective. But at this stage, I think retail investor funds for many clients, as a smaller percentage, has a space. And I think for large clients, looking at qualified investor funds could make sense. But as I mentioned, it's going to be a one-on-one meeting, and the importance of that personalized advice certainly is very, very important.
Oh, that's super. Very, very helpful indeed. I mean, thanks for clarifying those issues, Marc. And we look forward to talking to you next month about another topic of interest to private client wealth management. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.